Don't mind me. Just waiting for JJ, waiting for Zach, Taylor, Johnny, Godot. I don't know who I'm waiting for anymore. Just waiting. Waiting for people to show up on the Side Quest, your weekly journey into the wonderful world of video games. Let me adjust my camera here. I actually did start at 9 o'clock. Where is everybody? You know what I'm saying? It's been a week. Hope y'all are having a good week. Oh wait. JJ, extremely tired and under the weather. Recovering though, right, JJ? Can't hear you. Maybe speak into the mic. Yeah. 2 minutes. I started. Maybe you're 2 minutes late. You're 2 minutes early. Yes, look, I hear you, JJ. You're gonna mime things. I like he's gonna do hand signals. It's good. That's good. Well, while he figures that out, yeah, as I said, welcome everybody to the Side Quest, your journey into the wonderful world of video games. I'm the one, Dolly Domofsky, and joining me is JJ Hold. Oh,
Yeah, this should actually work.
there we go, JJ. Joining me is the one, the only JJ Holder at double-j.bsky.social. You can find me at dollydomofsky.com over on Blue Sky. I had that old website. I guess it's super. I mean, it's super easy to get your domain name to become your verified account. So I did that as well. I don't know if any of you don't have your name as a web address, might as well just grab it just to have it, because who knows what's going to happen in the future. We might need to have our IDs verified all over the place. JJ, how you doing, my friend?
As good as I can be.
Oh, I do. You've been, whoo, haven't you? You've been.
I wasn't at work for an entire week.
Oh my lord, that bad? Oh
Yeah,
goodness,
kicked my
dude,
ass.
not fun. Ugh.
No, it sucked.
Oh man, yeah, I don't like to hear that, my friend. I don't like that at all.
But here I am.
Here you is. Here you is.
I'm in my most laziest clothes.
That's okay. That's all right. Have you gone back to work yet, or are you?
Yeah, it's back
Okay.
today.
Nice. Hey, vamp for a second. I gotta find a pen. I lost my pen.
Oh, I've got
Just
a
keep
pen.
talking.
You want me to give you a pen?
Yeah, throw me the pen.
Yeah, here you go. Back at like 50% now. I'm almost there. I'm feeling it. Yeah, exactly.
Good. Keep talking.
Yeah. Yeah. Jesus. I didn't leave that. I left the house like once in that entire time frame to go to the store to get supplies, and it took everything out of me just to do that. Like yesterday was the first day where I felt like I could actually be a human being and experience. Went to take my dog to the groomer and go to the bookstore while she was there and shit.
Okay.
I was like, look, I'm doing human stuff again.
Finally, I guess. I mean,
yeah.
Slowly,
I get it out of the way. Get it out of the way at the beginning of the year. That way, I don't have to deal with it like in the coming months.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, I'm glad you're feeling a little better. That's good news.
Yeah, like I said, I'm about 50%. I'm getting there. I was at 0 on Sunday. I was at 0 last Sunday.
Yeah.
And today I'm at 50%. So we're good. We're good.
Well, let's get into some news. I don't know if anyone's going to join us, but let's get into a little bit of news here, and then unlikely, and then we can get into a couple of gamey thingies. But I want to. You weren't here. I was the only one here, huh? When we were talking, when I was talking Switch 2. So I just want to get your thoughts. I mean, it's been like almost 2 weeks now. Your thoughts on Le Switch 2?
It is 100% exactly what I thought it was going to be. And it is. And it's exactly what I wanted it to be. Like, not just what I thought it was going to be, but this is just what I want. There was, like, shortly after the Switch came out, you always have to wonder with Nintendo where it's like, well, is this it? Or, like, or is there going to get a wild hair in their ass and the next console is going to be something completely different? Like, because to me, the Switch is kind of the perfect idea of a video game console these
Uh-huh.
days.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want it to go away. I don't want the concept of the console kind of always being able to be with you
Sure.
be gone. So I'm glad that at least we get one more cycle of this. So
This, yeah.
yeah, I like it. I'm excited. I love the Switch, man.
Same.
It's a
Same.
top. It's like one day for funsies. You know, people do like tier lists and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be fun.
We need to do game console tier lists.
I like
Like,
that. That'd be a fun
yeah,
episode. Yeah.
it's a fun random episode where we don't have to.
How about
That's,
the mice version of
I
this?
mean, like conceptually, that's cool. I don't
Yeah.
like the only thing I can really uh see it like really existing for is like bringing like the Wii U concept into like, because that's sort of what the problem was. Like
Mm-hmm.
the Switch
Mm-hmm.
is a cool idea, but then like when you take the screen and the TV and sort of make them, it's like they're broadcasting the same image, like you kind of lose what the Wii U tablet was doing at times.
Right.
And you can't like use touch controls while in console mode. So this is kind of puts it in a touch screen without having a touch screen, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, I like that. I like anytime you can have it's not like it's Nintendo's first go at a mouse anyways.
Yeah.
So
What I thought was actually interesting. I mean, there are like a handful of games on the Switch right now that you can plug a USB mouse in and
yeah,
use them. I think like Game Builder Garage, you can do it, and then there's
yeah,
like, was it the Triangle Strategy or one of those games, or Tactics
yeah.
Ogre?
It's
And you could play with the mouse. And it's cool.
Yeah,
It's
it's
just
one of
it's
those weird things. Like throughout the last few generations, there's always been like you can plug a mouse into pretty much any
yeah,
system since like the
yeah.
PS3, and like, uh, and sometimes it just works. Like I don't know if you remember, like PS3 had that Unreal tournament where you could like
Oh
use
yeah,
mouse and keyboard and also like load mods onto the thing
right,
using like
right.
a compact flash card and shit. Like, if you
Geez, big old compact flash drive. Well, I think what's cool is, so the reason that it tends to fail is because
yeah.
you can't you usually can't play the game without the mouse, or if you
Yeah.
can, it's a whole separate step. You have to go out, buy a
Yeah.
mouse, a compatible
Yeah.
one, blah blah. I think having it
That's kind
now,
of
the Switch, yes, the
be an
Switch.
option, but not a necessity is
Exactly,
like
exactly. Now
it's
I think having the
yeah.
mouse built into the Switch means any game now can use a mouse, and you really
Yeah,
can't put a.
and it's so low. It's
Yeah,
such a low effort thing to like make these things do that. Just
yeah,
having
it
it
really
make
is. Like, I've been
yeah,
playing with it. Yeah, everybody's done it at this point. They flip their Switch on the side and said, "Oh yeah, it
yeah,
does work." You know,
yeah,
you
like
click this and it's
yeah,
a mouse.
it's just like, yeah, sure, why not? Like if you can just have it be there. It
Yeah,
doesn't matter. I'm sure nothing's gonna really use it, but like
yeah.
for the
Well,
things that and there's gonna be like a whole like bunch. There's gonna be like, oh,
you wanna.
what this is going to cause is an influx of really, really bad clicker games on
Yeah. Oh
shop.
man, total. Oh, dude, clicker games on the Switch, too. I love that. But the one thing that I'm kind of interested in. Okay, ready? Look, they show these things. These things are like racing around. Wow, it's really weird that they're racing around. Anyways, let's get into a racing game known
Yeah,
as Mario Kart. I actually
yeah.
think that
Oh
I
God, is that
feel
gonna
like
be like
you'll
instead of
be
like the
able to
tilt
hold.
controls
Yeah,
for the
you'll be
Wii,
able
it'll
to.
be fucking like
You'll race them on your, maybe you like charge it, you like swipe it back and charge it up, and oh, actually it's not a bad idea if you could like swipe it back and charge it, and then
like a friction car,
like
like
one of those
those.
friction cars.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, they haven't shown anything. They've just
yeah,
shown, hey, it's just bigger,
yeah,
and it's got. I
yeah.
mean, all it is that it's bigger, and it attaches differently. That's all
Okay,
that's
here's.
all they've shown.
Do you think that they have a brand new Pro controller, or are they just going to slightly refine the current Pro
Ooh,
controller.
I think they'll slightly refine it. Yeah, I don't think they need to make anything
Gonna
new
be like
that.
the Xbox controller, where like the
Yeah.
Xbox One and the Series X and S are virtually identical with
Yep.
just like, oh, we added Bluetooth and a
Right.
headphone
No.
jack or whatever.
I mean, you really can't do much more because these new Joy-Cons aren't that different than the current Joy-Cons. Really,
Yeah.
you can go into mouse mode, but that's it. So I think you'll get just a new design Pro controller. Maybe it has better bumpers or whatever. Maybe the layout's like just
I
a little bit bigger, but that's it. I don't think it'll have anything
I hope that we get analog triggers.
more.
They don't
Man.
really
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's a part of it. I mean, we haven't heard any of this stuff. Maybe that is a
exactly
part of
like
this. Yeah.
it's like because like
Yeah.
analog triggers are sorely missed for like
Mhm.
racing games on the Switch and
Yeah. Well,
stuff
for sure,
because
dude, for sure. I mean, if you're gonna get Forza on this thing now, which is, the Microsoft basically came out and said, "Yeah, we're gonna start putting everything on Switch and PlayStation and
I'm
PC."
starting to really wonder like what the performance of this console really is, because people are
Yeah.
saying weird
Yeah.
shit
They
that
are.
make
Yeah.
no
I don't know anything. I'm
yeah
happy not
no
knowing anything.
yeah
We've heard stuff all across the game. We've heard the stuff that you guys have heard, stuff all across the game.
yeah
Now, have talked to developers. Like one of the things at the Game Awards, like people weren't talking, but they were talking about the Switch 2 because a lot of the devs there had units, but nobody was actually talking about it. And
yeah
so I don't know. GDC is going to be nuts when
because
that's in March. Ooh, you're going to hear
like
some stuff come out of that for sure.
like people were talking about like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and it's just like
I
they
believe
don't,
it.
they don't even have that running on the PlayStation 4. It's
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
like its specs are pretty up there.
I
Even though
think
it's
I
like
mean,
I'm assuming if that's the case, then there's a PS4 version of Rebirth coming
and
out
they
or
might.
something. Like
I would be surprised. Although they may not want to go backwards at this point because enough people have. I feel like enough people have switched over to the
yeah, but
PS5.
also
I don't know how many folks.
but also Rebirth sold bad. Like
True. That is true. That is true. It'd be interesting. Maybe there is a version of Rebirth, but it's only digital. I don't think maybe there's not like because Sony doesn't even want to make Blu-rays anymore. They just want
yeah.
they don't want to go
Well,
with the hardware.
they officially announced that they're ending production of
So that apparently is only the rewritable and the blank
the rewritables,
Blu-rays.
but
Yeah. That's basically
that's a step through the
yeah.
door. Like
Yeah.
that I mean like who knows these days.
By the way, a lot of
feel like
Blu-rays are made in Mexico.
yeah
They're pressed down there, so we could see
yeah
prices go up. So that's why I think
yeah.
I feel like these companies will see less and less actual Blu-rays coming through. But no, I mean maybe they will push something. I don't know. You're right. If they do downgrade it, you probably could just port it to the PS4 anyways. Just have it there and
Yeah.
sell a few copies. I think I feel like everybody who's got it. Everybody on PlayStation who's wanted it has got it. I don't know how
I know
PS4 sells. I'd be curious to see how
I
PS4
know a
stuff
lot
sells
of
these
people
days.
that didn't play Rebirth simply because they didn't have like a PS5, but they all played the remake because it
Sure.
was, end life of the PS4. It's
Yeah.
just like
I mean,
it
I'm
was
not. Yeah, I don't know the business of that. That's a good point.
yeah,
Maybe it is just a few folks haven't upgraded to the PS5 yet, or they want to keep it on the platform that they have it on. I mean, maybe they have a PS5 or they have a PS4 and they have the PS4 version of remake. I don't know. I'm not sure. Either way, we don't know what the power of this thing is. We've heard stuff all over the place. We've heard, there is like the wild 4K AI is things getting bumped up. It's like slow down. This isn't.
yeah.
I don't even think this
I
is
mean, like
PS4 Pro level, but it doesn't need to be.
we know what's like powering it. Like it's like
Yeah,
it can only
yeah.
be so. Like,
Yeah, it's still a tablet. It's not
yeah.
going to be PS5 level. It won't be PS4 Pro level. It's probably PS4 level, which, hey, guess what, guys? I'm playing PS4 games on my PS5 because they still look damn good. I played God of War on my PS5, looked fantastic. Then I played what was it? I've been playing Final Fantasy VII Remake on my PS5 with the PS4 version. couldn't tell the difference. So yeah, don't worry, they look great. Still looks
I'm really
good.
just curious as to what like the weird little Nintendo doodads and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
weird Nintendo engineering stuff they're gonna do. There's always some
Right.
weird little goofy thing, and there's just like who knows what the dock is doing. Like
Yeah, yeah. I
it's
mean,
just,
and those are the cool. Like, there's been a lot of cool rumors. There's like, hey, there's now a USB-C on the top, and there's a microphone thing on the top too. Which I think that's what that little square is. That little square is going to be some type of mic button. I think that's the C. Remember they called it the C button. Maybe it's like call or whatever. I think it has something to do with muting the mic. I don't know. Maybe there's something related to that. But
like the PlayStation 5 controller has a
yeah.
dedicated turn this microphone on the controller off button.
Exactly. I think we're probably that's people are making a big deal out. Is it the new button? Is it the button that's going to go back in time? No, relax, folks.
It's the forever rumored Nintendo win button.
Yeah, there you go, the win button. But yeah. There's we don't know anything about this. So I will say this:
It's so cute that they look like mice.
I love it. They did such a great job. I got to do a full design breakdown of this. Maybe I'll do it the next day or so here. But this to me is fantastically designed from a user interface in just the color attachments, because how often did people plug in when they first got the Switch, how often did they shove those things in upside down and broke them? Yeah, there you go. Cough button. That's me. I'm coughing right now. Anyways, and JJ's been going through. But yeah,
I wonder, like, so stuff like our Nitro decks.
Yeah.
They rely so importantly on the rail system to have it locked into place. I'm very curious to see how that stuff ends up working. Like, because it's not like because even if you slide it in, like it's gonna like the magnet situation. It's not like you're plugging the Nitro deck in from the side, unless that's what they do, like a backbone.
It may have, because the way these things attach, of course, it's magnetic, right? So you got the magnet, but the magnets, they hold, but it's really for a sort of an alignment feature, because magnets that are that strong
when they zoom in, you see what's really connecting.
You see the little plug that connected. So that's what I think will be in the next Nitro deck type of thing. It will be that little thing. So you slide this sucker in, and then when it snaps all the way down, those things will pop in. Or maybe there's like a button on Nitro deck that you slide this in, you hit the button and it locks it. Who knows?
Yeah, it may just activate the magnets to keep it stabilized. And like whatever.
Exactly.
Exactly. Push magnets in. Push
from a design standpoint, just going to the route where you have the colored sides, I think is super brilliant. Make even it so that blue will always go to blue, orange will always go to orange, and as a slight little thing, you can kind of see when it pops up there. There maybe it's visible on the other side. There's actually is like a plus and a minus on the inside of the Switch hardware, and I think that those are just little touches. Even the little colored rings around the
dust cover on the joysticks.
I think that's perfect, and to me that is surprisingly a huge win for design usability for people like me who are getting up in my age. I know now. Look at it. Blue goes to blue every time. Orange goes to orange. So simple, but that's to me that's going to make a big difference. So cool. I like the softer edges. It definitely feels like a slightly more refined device, but again, we'll wait and see when it comes out.
It definitely looks like a Switch 2.
It definitely looks like a Switch 2. Totally okay with it. And I know there was discourse about how innovative this thing's going to be. First and foremost, all it needs is the Switch is the most bought console in the world, and it's probably weeks away from taking the crown from the PS2, right? And so it is the biggest it's the most sold console on the planet of all time. Pretty soon, it will be eventually. You don't have anything to worry about going to the Switch 2, because the Switch 2, the minute you start pumping out Nintendo games, that thing's going to keep selling, and we know they're going to have we can already guess they're going to have a stellar launch lineup. They're showing Mario Kart, this new Mario Kart game, which the Donkey Kong redesign, 24 players at a time, potentially open worldish. We don't know any of that stuff. All we can know is the stuff that we see, but it looks like it's Mario Kart. Mario Kart sells shit, right? So you will have you will have sales. And I think it's Nintendo. They're gonna bring their big guns out, and you'll be able. It's backwards compatible, so good on you.
The level of discourse that went around Nintendo losing their
Yeah.
innovative edge just because they called it the Switch 2
Right.
was so
Yeah.
weird. Like,
Yeah.
this is the company that like didn't name it. They weren't naming anything.
Yep.
Like, it's like it was
Yep.
the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Super Nintendo Entertainment
Right. Yeah.
System,
Yeah. The Nintendo
64.
64.
Like, it wasn't until the GameCube that
Right.
was
Yeah.
like,
That it was actually something different. Game Boy to Game Boy Color to
the
Game Boy
Game Boy
Advance.
Advance. Like, yeah, DS,
And DS.
DS, 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 DSi, 3DS,
Yeah. DS
3DS, like,
Lite,
yeah,
DS Lite, then
yeah.
DSi, then
The
3DS. Yeah,
the
exactly.
Wii to Wii U thing genuinely confused a lot of people.
That's exactly it. I think that was
And
really the only one that was
yeah,
a bad swipe was the Wii to
yeah,
Wii. If they just called it the Nintendo U, I think you could have probably sold a
yeah.
lot of
I
more
don't
shit.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I was gonna say I don't understand, but I do
Yeah.
understand. I do
Yeah.
understand that Nintendo realized that the Wii was like
So
so unfathomably successful, even to like their
yeah.
expectations, that they didn't want to lose that.
So apparently, Nintendo. Apparently, I was listening to a recent, was it Kit and Krista podcast? They used to work at
Yeah,
Nintendo.
yeah. They
It
did
was
the
either them
Treehouse
or
thing.
someone else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, I believe it was them, or may have been somebody else in that circle, said that Nintendo of America pushed for the Wii U name.
Yeah, it sounds like in a Nintendo
And
of
not
America thing.
Nintendo of Japan wanted something like the Wii 2 or something, something to that range. And Nintendo of America kind of dropped the ball on this one. So
Yeah,
the
no, that
we screwed
definitely
up.
sounds like a Nintendo of America move.
Yeah. The Wii, this was Reggie's blunder. But anywho,
But come on, it was
Yeah.
still the Ultra 64 in Japan. That's
yeah. Oh,
fucking
still such a
sick.
badass name. Yeah, totally. Even
Nintendo-
Famicom is a badass name, right?
I
It's
love
awesome.
Famicom, man.
That's a
I
great
don't
name.
like.
But no, I was initially, I'm like, man, it's a bummer. They're only showing the hardware. Why would they? Okay, so that's why. And it didn't do any quote unquote damage to the company with the hardware showing up. This is always the plan. They were just going to show the hardware. They're going to show these initial quick features because they've been sitting on this video for a little while, right? And it's got that Nintendo-ass music too, that poppy Nintendo music.
Yeah, and you don't even have to have a narrator. You just
have to have an narrator. But we saw all those hardware leaks because the day this went live, all of a sudden, all the accessory pre-orders went live and everybody was unveiling this. So I think my thoughts are the accessory makers obviously were the ones that were messed up because none of the game manufacturers are leaking anything. It's really all the accessory folks are screwing up because they wanted to get their stuff out there and start making orders, and somebody out there got confused and then jumped the gun on something, and then everybody else jumped the gun. And that's really what the big issue, I think, kind of comes at it. But Nintendo still, this was their timing all along. Show it in January, and now we're looking for April to see the big direct with the actual find out what this thing does. I feel like we'll probably get a little hint here and there, but I don't think anybody is going to announce their game for Switch 2 until that direct, because
no, you have a few, you have the small like indie guys that would be announced. Like it's like it doesn't matter. It's like because like this was going to be on the Switch anyways. Of course, we're going to like have a Switch 2 version or
you've already
whatever.
We've seen a couple folks that we know have already said, you know what, Stardew Valley will be on Switch 2 for sure.
No shit.
Like it's backward compatible.
It's like the ones, it's the games that will matter. The weird like the ports that are going to be a big deal and things like that. Those are the ones that are going to be held until April, even if they're not in the direct. After that direct goes off the air, you're going to start seeing the trickle of like Square Enix announcing what they've got going on or whatever.
That may end up only being like a 40-minute, like a typical 40-minute direct or 45-minute direct. But the amount of news, I might have to take that day off, because the amount of news that's going to be pouring out that day is going to be insanity, with everybody announcing ports and announcing, because you can't fit everything into
No.
into one Switch presentation like that. There's going to be
And
so
look,
much stuff pouring out of there.
and the and I mean, they'll
All right, booking
I
that day
think,
off.
yeah, I think it's safe to assume they'll announce the release date that day too.
Yeah, and
Uh,
I'm. What's your guess for the release date?
Middle of summer. I don't know
You think middle of summer?
exactly. Yeah.
I'm thinking probably towards the end of June,
Yeah.
third or fourth week of June. I don't think May.
I don't think May.
I'd love if it was May before school gets out. But I feel like I feel like it'll be towards the end of June, to be honest. Or they may just screw everybody up and just drop it like right at the beginning of June and throw off everybody at Summer Game Fest and everything else.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing
I don't
probably
know.
like the
It's like
third week of
Nintendo
June.
will definitely want more than a 1 month lead time.
Yeah.
To drum up, pre-sales and all
Yep.
that stuff. So I give them 2 or 3 months. And middle of,
2
middle
months
or-
after April. Yeah, 2 months after April
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
is beginning of June. So 2.5 months.
Nintendo likes to go. Nintendo's like recent thing has been like announce 3 months later. Like,
Well, no, I mean the Switch to Switch launch was 2 months, right? Because they showed it off.
I'm just saying, like in general,
Yeah.
just
Oh,
like
I'm
for
sorry. Yeah,
everything
yeah,
now,
yeah,
like
yeah,
2 to 3
yeah.
months. It's like
Yep.
announce to release 2 to 3 months. It's just
Exactly,
like
yeah.
Nintendo. It doesn't matter if it's hardware, software, doesn't matter. That's just like they want to make sure they have enough
Agreed.
in their pocket before they
Yep.
announce the release date, because
And the
they don't want
rumors
to
that
worry
were
about delays.
and the
Because
rumors that we're
they,
hearing is
Yeah.
like 20 million consoles the first year, which is
Yeah.
it's pretty huge to have
And
that, because I
Nintendo
think it was
seems-
like 14 or 12 to 14 of the original Switch
Yeah.
that first year. So something like that. So going to 20, they want to make sure there's enough stock, and that the original Switch launched in March. So this is launching it'll be after that. So you got less time, and yeah, it'll be.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I don't think we'll have problems getting a Switch 2 out there. You just may have to wait a month or two, but I'll be ordering this sucker right away just because I want something with a bigger. I don't need it. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I was gonna say I know, absolutely. I'll have an Amazon pre-order. Like, I don't have any worry about that at all.
Yeah. Yep, same here. I'll go through Best Buy more than likely, because you can never tell with Amazon and Nintendo. They're always up and down with their friendliness.
Not with the hardware. Software, they have a problem.
Okay.
Hardware, like
okay.
I got the Switch day of. I got the Switch Lite day of.
Okay. We will see, but anyway, so we'll find out in April. I didn't get in any of they had the lottery to go to all these different locations. Did not get in. I only know of one person that I know got in. Everybody else is just a sea of the sorry, you did not get selected, which just again shows you that everybody really wants to see this thing. So
be interested to see. I'm going to be extremely interested to see what Nintendo's presence at PAX East is, because it's a weird time for them.
Yep.
Because they had a really significant.
They gotta have it there. They'd have to have it there.
Yeah, like because like West 2 years ago had the weird live event.
Mm-hmm.
Which was showing Mario that had just been announced like 2 weeks before that or whatever. And then West this year had, a huge booth with Zelda and Mario Party.
Yeah.
And all kinds of others. And it was a huge booth. It was like most of the time, like when we go to East, it always feels like you got Pokemon trading card game, and we've got like a weird arena set up where you can all just play like Nintendo Remix or whatever.
They had that last year. They had that list last year. Yeah. I feel like definitely we'll have they'll have something for sure for the Switch 2. You kind of have to. You're launching a product. This is your first big. It takes place after all those April showings, so it's the first big real
There's
event.
a very real possibility that developers could be showing off Switch 2 stuff.
You're probably, which means that media hour is going to be
crucial. No Pokemon trading card game this year.
Yeah, no Pokemon trading card game this year. That media hour, I am. If the doors to the conference hall open at 7 a.m., I'll be waiting outside at 6:30 just so I can get in there early enough for the media hour and run to that media door. But we'll be doing our stretches then. But there was a game
Can we
announced.
stop talking about the Switch now?
yeah. There was a game announced that I'm kind of excited about, and that's Ninja Gaiden 4. I can never tell. Is it Gaiden? I don't even know. Who cares?
It's technically Gaiden, but like but like for Western audiences, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
It's like a lot of our words. It's both. It's Gaiden, whatever you want.
So there we go. It was announced at the Xbox Developer Direct. I think that's at first, I thought it was gonna be like Mega Man or even Persona 6, but then when they let off with this, and I thought, oh yeah, the Ninja Gaiden games were the first two.
That's what the Xbox exclusives. The Xbox, like Halo was the backbone, but Ninja Gaiden was like that's what made the wheels turn for a lot of people, man. That
was pretty cool. Yeah. So it's cool to see. I mean,
love those games.
I love those games. And we already have Ragebound showing up, right? Ragebound looks pretty badass, and that's the 2D version, and they're doing a full on. Let me turn off the audio of this sucker. Yeah. They're doing a 3D.
We're getting the best of both worlds. We're getting old school Ninja Gaiden and a modern Ninja Gaiden. Fuck yeah!
And this is 2025.
Yeah,
which is wild. Both games are coming out this year, but this picks up right after Ninja Gaiden 3. But you take on a new ninja named Yakumo. So Yakumo is sort of a younger ninja that wants to follow in the footsteps of Ryu Hayabusa. I remember the thing I always loved about the Ninja Gaiden games was those amazing cutscenes that they had on the NES, like moodiness and told the story. And these games are a part of that series, so it's fantastic. The 3D games. So and this just continues that, and it's set in sort of that kind of new-ish Tokyo.
Yeah, Neo Tokyo.
Yeah.
I love how unabashedly gory these games are, and that they seem to have just doubled down this time around. Like, they've always been gory, and they've always been like, I'm gonna chop this guy's head clear off, and now it seems like, no, I'm gonna make this guy explode.
Oh, it's so good. It's so fun. Now they're adding like a lot of cool looks like they're adding a lot of cool details that Platinum Games is known for. Really cool, smooth, fast action. So I'm excited.
That's Sonic the Hedgehog right there, man.
Dude. Totally. And they also announced that they got Ninja Gaiden 2 Black is out. It's released.
Yeah, it's out. Came out that night.
I ended up grabbing Game Pass Ultimate. They had like a 3-month Game Pass Ultimate thing for like $30 on Loot. Yeah. So I'm like, you know what? That's actually a pretty good deal. It's like 2/3 the price of a full one. So I might do that and try a couple games that are coming out to switch to, more than likely. But pretty neat. I think this is badass. I'm excited about it.
This is definitely the kind of game they need to be.
Yeah,
making.
They do. This is what
the Xbox needs.
It needs it. It's not exclusive because it's coming out for PS5 and PC and probably Switch that same day. But
but it happens every time. If you're the one that announces it, it has the retail, it has the mental real estate for people. So even if it is coming to other systems, Xbox announced it was on the Xbox Live. It's an Xbox game. It's like,
cool. I'm excited. It's great. It's great. It's Ninja Gaiden. It's awesome. There is one more little bit of news here that maybe it's great for me. I'm not sure for anybody else, but definitely let's see if I can get this thing to share. Here we go. Skies of Arcadia. Sega renewed the trademark. Now, it could be minimal, may not mean anything. A lot of times these trademark renewals really are so that people don't rip off the game and try to make another Skies of Arcadia game.
It doesn't make any sense not to just re-release Skies of Arcadia.
I'm surprised they haven't. Even if you release it as is, it's still like I still love I have my GameCube copy, which is just a phenomenal version. But you could give me an HD remaster of the game. I'd love it. I mean, come on, Sega. What are you doing?
That's the boy. Sega can really drop the ball when it comes to remastering their previous games. Like, so just put the GameCube version on PC and I'd be happy.
Yeah, for sure. You can get it, but this is such a great turn-based RPG with phenomenal. Like, I was overwhelmingly surprised by how great these characters were. Like, they were well ahead of, like, this is 2002. The original game was what, 2000 or 99 or
Yeah,
something?
it was.
Like,
No, it was like 2000. It was.
2000. Okay.
It was in the middle of the Dreamcast life cycle.
Okay, yeah. Everything was the end of the Dreamcast life cycle when you think about it. But yeah, it's so yeah, now this game is 25 years old basically. But the stuff within, especially this game, I see in things like Xenoblade Chronicles, like those games, and some Persona, and I mean, like the character interaction and the character development is just so good in these games. I loved these characters; they were awesome. So yeah, cool. And hopefully something comes out of it, because if it doesn't, I'll be very upset.
What was it like? I think a majority of, like, not majority, but I think a good chunk of the Skies of Arcadia team went to go make like Valkyria Chronicles or something.
Yeah,
like, which,
yeah.
You can sort of see that lineage with the sort of character based, like,
Totally.
But
Yep. Yeah. So that's basically the news. There were some other stories. There's layoffs and crap things I don't talk about, but that's the news. We can get into some games that we're playing. And do you want to go first, JJ, or do you want me to hit my
I mean, like, I'm not really prepared. Like, the review codes that we had.
Okay, then we'll wait till you're. Yeah.
But I do want to talk about at least one game that I have been playing. But you do yours first. I can just...
Okay, leave it in the chat, that way I can pull up a video. So I have been playing a couple. I've been playing a few review games, surprisingly. Two very different types of games. One's a word game and like a puzzle style game, which I love, and the other is a garlic 'em up. Anyway, here at SideQuesting, we are big fans of games like Tencent Trees and Sudoku stuff and Picross and so when these types of games are announced, we share it within our Discord, within the group, and it spreads like wildfire, and it's awesome. I big fan of the that type of style of gameplay. So when I got the code, or I got asked if I wanted to try a specific word game, I thought, let's give this a shot. I like word games, and that game is called I think it's pronounced LOK Digital or LOK Digital. It's one of the two. And make sure it's.
They don't say it out loud in the game, so
they
it's hard
don't.
To know sometimes.
So this is actually based. LOK is actually based on a like a print game, right? You can actually go buy the books for this, really, and then kind of fill. The whole premise is you have words, and you have to spell these words out. So LOK is the first word they give you, for instance, and you have to go through the process and go through these puzzles and kind of fill in LOK when they're next to each other. And then they start adding other words, TLAK, TA, that kind of stuff. And your goal is to go through these word puzzles and try to fill in those letters. So if, let's say you fill in LOK, okay, that's the first word you're taught. You fill in LOK, and you're allowed to clear out one cube anywhere else on the screen. So you can fill out. Let's say there's just a blank square somewhere there, like they're showing in the video, right? You clear out the blank square. Ta-da! You finished the level. Then you start linking LOK. Like some of them will have like LO blank O blank K. So you have to start kind of combining the words, and you can only spell these words out in straight lines. So it's either going to be fore, aft, up, down, left, right. You can't do diagonal. You can't do like two and L shaped or anything. And as you start to clear these letters out, you can start to like skip spaces. So let's say it's LOK K or something, or LOOK. If you spell LOK somewhere else, you can clear out one of those O's, and then you can combine the LOK across. So it's a really fun and simple, easy to understand process. It's when they start putting in other words and other mechanisms into this game that I really freaking enjoy and get sucked in. I was playing this at the coffee shop, and I spent the entire time at the coffee shop playing this game instead of doing any writing or any sketching. The next word is TLAK. It's second word or whatever that you learn. First, let me say the whole purpose of this game is there's these little creatures that have been born. They're called the LOK, whatever. There they are. And they're little ink creatures. And your job is to sort of let them grow and populate the earth. And the way you do that is by spelling out the letters and stuff. Very simple idea. So TLAK, you can clear out 2 letters, but those letters have to be in a line somewhere. So they have to be in the same row or the same column. And then there's another one, which is the words are TA, and TA lets you clear out, you select like a blank square, all the blank squares will be cleared out. So there's like different ways to start working through these. So then you start mixing TLAK, LOK, TA, other words. I'm not gonna get into the other words as well because I'll leave those for you guys to figure out. But you start getting into some more complex ones, and it starts to really become a heated. You'll screw up immediately several times. Just keep screwing up and over and over again. You definitely have to plan ahead and try to figure stuff out. Luckily, there's an undo button, and there is a pretty interesting hint system. The hint system doesn't tell you where you have to click. The hint system will only say the first word is LOK, the second word is TLAK, the third word is LOK, the fourth word is TA, the fifth word is LOK. So it just tells you the order of doing things, which I think is great. Essentially, it means your first 1 or 2 or 3 are still going to be difficult. You still have to figure that out. It's only later on that things start to get, in each of these words, these jumbles, that things start to get easier. So really enjoy it. It's out on PC. We got the PC code, the Steam code in December. It's actually out on mobile right now. It just released on mobile a couple days ago. So perfect timing. Great game. I think it's a great game to have on mobile platforms, especially on your phone, right? I think there's even like an editor built into I don't know if there's an editor on the mobile one, but there's an editor on the PC one. So you can actually create stuff, which is
they show
wild.
Of it in this
trailer. It's wild. So really fun puzzle style game, word games. I love it. LOK Digital. And then, like I said, there's actually physical books out there that you can pick up that this is based on, but I enjoyed it. I love these types of games, and I'm gonna be. I've plugged through so many of these challenges, and once you clear out enough, and then it lets you go to the next quote unquote world, the next set of stages. But then you can always go back and try the bonus stages in each one, which are like these more difficult ones. Then there's like whole third levels, like tertiary levels. Then there's like a fourth level on each. It's great. It's just so much to do. Definitely reminds me of some of those games that I mentioned earlier. Some of those puzzle and word, and it's that genre of gaming that I love. So yeah, LOK Digital. Boggle like. Speaking of games, Garlic Likes. Garlic Likes, I think, is a genre. Let's call it a genre now.
It's sort of what the Vampire Survivor style has been dubbed. I get it.
Yep. So Garlic Likes are like Vampire Survivors, right? And they are the games where you just kind of go around and you shoot things on a stage, right? And you keep expanding, and
your interaction with it is to just move the thing around and choose what weapons they get as you survive for as long as you can.
So people have tried to come up with new ways to do it, and typically it just revolves around, we're just going to make it a space setting. We're going to make it a GTA style setting. We're going to make it Vikings and dinosaurs.
My favorite is still the HoloLive one. So.
Yeah, exactly. There you go, HoloLive. But they all kind of fit the same thing. So Viscera is a new game that's out right now. Viscera. And so they are trying to jump in on this Garlic Like. There's no garlic in this game because it's sort of set in this wasteland mutant world. You can kind of see, oh, cool. It's like, wait, it's whatever. The difference with this is that it's a little bit of a twin stick shooter as opposed to just letting stuff happen. So you definitely have to go around and aim. You have to aim at the enemies. Whereas in the past, you just kind of, in this genre, you just kind of walk in a direction and stuff shoots out, right?
Yeah.
You do get some of that stuff in this, but there's actually work you have to do.
So it's Smash TV.
Yeah, it's Smash TV. It's Smash TV smashed with Vampire Survivors. Good and bad to that. The good is, once you get used to this sort of twin stick shooter aspect of it, I do like that.
I love twin stick shooters. Yeah. I like Geometry Wars is still. Like...
Oh, it's great. It's great, and this game functions really well. I wasn't the biggest fan of like the weapons because you don't. In other games of this ilk, the weapons are very different and they're big and they're chunkier and they're kind of visibly a little bit differentiated. Not so much here. I'd love to see a little bit more done with that. I think everything is very much a similar color too, right? Even on all the different stages, there's like I think 4 stages that the initial game gives you. So it's a little difficult to see what's happening on the stage, right? Like you can't kind of tell which of these are monsters and which enemies and which are just rocks and blood. So there's a little bit of an issue there.
I was like, here's a problem when you revolve it around guns is that all of your weapons look the same. It doesn't matter. It's like it's a shotgun, but now it has chunkier yellow lines that are firing out or whatever. Exactly. That's why the garlic likes were like good because like every weapon had a different look, feel, and
Yep. Now it has a lot of those same trappings, right? You can upgrade weapons, you gain levels, you kind of go around these small stages. The stages are a little on the smaller side, but they do have warps. So it's almost like monster rooms. Like you can clear out the monster room, and then there's like a little mini warp inside there that you might see in some of these videos. And that warp will take you to a different aspect of this world. But so there are some neat, there are some interesting design elements here. I just wish that it visually set itself to apart, right? And I like the idea of having like turrets and stuff. There's almost like a little mini tower defense aspect to this that I kind of wish that they leaned into a little bit more because you can set up turrets, as one of the quick expendable items.
That's actually smart. That'd be kind of an interesting thing for some of those games to include. So,
but this only mildly dips its toe in it, So
can I be honest about something here? And I don't know if it's any better with hands-on, but I do not like anything about the look of this game.
Well, and it's. That's my biggest issue with it. The controls are fine. You can get used to the twin stick.
Also, is it always this slow? This seems really slow.
This demo is moving a little bit slower. Okay. It actually is. It is faster. Okay. I think they just wanted to kind of show. This is
brutal.
Yes, it's brutal. But it is quicker than this. It's not super fast though, and that's the difference. It's not as fast as. Even when you're playing it, it's not as fast as other games in the genre. Yeah. So there's a little bit on the slower side. It's just a difficulty to see things.
Yeah, this looks bad right here.
Yeah, and the problem
is.
Yeah, I think it's cool that you want to leave like the remains of the demon and the monsters and stuff on the screen. That's a neat idea. But then if the monster's green and the monster guts are green, you can't see the monsters in the guts, and so it's like a little bit of an issue there. I do wish that I wish that visually this was clearer and more unique because it's not. It doesn't look like anything unique out there. I like that there is a leaderboard system. I've actually been like at one point I was like super high up on the leaderboard and I only had played like one. This game's been out for a minute. I only played like 2 or 3 rounds of this and I was pretty high up on the leaderboard, which is never a good sign because it means not enough people are playing it. At the same time, I did have a pretty long lasting session in this, so it's not too difficult.
So you get money for killing the enemies.
Yes.
See, that one of the things that I like about garlic likes is that killing the enemy is only part of the
Yeah,
thing.
you
have to collect whatever the
correct.
currency is, and
Correct.
you're not going to get it all. Like with this,
Right.
you are going to get it all.
Yeah.
Which
And the money is really just scoring. All it is just like a scoring system.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting. You can kind of see the level thing on the right
Yeah.
there, and you see the ammunition on the left. And again, it's interesting from mixing the twin stick aspect into it. It gives you a little bit more control in this type of game, but at the same time, it's just visually. It's so weird to harp on something from a visual standpoint, but it does affect my time with it because even in a scene like this, there are hordes of enemies.
Yeah.
I don't know where they are because it's so difficult to see them. Even if you blow out, so I played this on my Steam Deck. By the way, it works really well on a Steam Deck. I'll give it that. I mean, it actually functions. It's super smooth on the Steam Deck, and I
looks like this would have been a killer game in like 2008 on the 360.
Yeah. And you're right. And I actually preferred it on the Steam Deck over playing it on my PC, which is really weird. But I just felt like it felt more at home on this little arcade style thing. But it does feel like it feels like those off-brand games that you'd get from like GameStop or Babbage's that came on like the CD-ROMs that the name alone, Viscera, and probably the disc would have had a guy standing over like a version of Doom with a guy standing over demons, but with like an even bigger gun and like lots of bright lights.
It's
over rendered.
Yeah, it's Matt Hazard.
Yeah. And so again, it's totally functional. It works great.
It looks like it's doing exactly what they wanted it to do, which you can't fault. Yeah.
It does exactly what they want it to do. It's got a lot of different weapons, but they're all guns and they're all explosions. And I do wish that they had a little bit more fun. Again, good things. I actually like the controls. I like this the very light dip into tower defense. I just wish they went all in on either of those things. And I wish this is obviously one of the views that you saw there was just this some of the guns that you get later on that you can spend. And there's a lot of stuff going on the screen right now, but there's so much visual junk on the screen that it's hard to differentiate. So I really wish
this is nothing. This screen right here that we're looking at is nothing.
You can't even tell where the character really is.
I don't know who the dude is in this. Like,
so I do wish that I wish that stuff either faded away really quickly or the enemies were more visually punchy off the screen. Cool stuff. Again, I guess if you're really into this genre and you wanted to pick up something else because you've already kind of played through the other ones, you can't really go wrong with it. It's just it doesn't do anything amazing otherwise.
I mean, Viscera is a good name if you're going to lean into the guts, just kind of hanging out.
It's true. Yeah.
It's either that or professional wrestling. Like those are the two.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was going to talk about another game. I'll talk about my next game next week. I've been playing, but I'll start with those two. What and you've been playing a game? Let me load this sucker up.
I've been playing. I'll talk about while you load that up. A couple of the other minor things. First and foremost, I just want to say my comfort game while I was down with the sickness. I've got super into Binding of Isaac again. That game is perfect. I don't care I just love Binding of Isaac. I would just lay in bed and just soak up it was just perfect. It's perfect for short bursts while I had the energy to play a game or whatever. Like it was just perfect game. Okay, I gotta okay, so Exagimus. It's called a garlic like because in Vampire Survivors you get the garlic in it. First of all, vampires, garlic, blah blah blah, but also like the garlic is sort of the generic, like everyone tries to copy that particular weapon in particular because it's just a force field that also attacks,
the best
which
weapon.
every
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, it's like the weapon. Like if you don't get the garlic in a Vampire Survivors run, you might as well just like start over, kind of thing. And it's just all of them sort of commit to that garlic thing. So that's why it's a garlic like.
Yep.
Also, one of the review games that I got that I'm just going to say one little thing about right now is Gimmick 2 while I'm thinking about it, because I just want to say it has one of the greatest difficulty select screens I have ever seen in a video game.
Oh, sweet.
It just starts you off. You remember when I reviewed Gimmick a little bit ago? I even like was playing it here and sucked at it. Gimmick is a really weird platformer. It's momentum based. You have to sort of like, it's not, you can't stop. You just have to keep moving or else you'll die and then you restart from a checkpoint and you have to master that kind of stuff. It's a speed running style game. So Gimmick 2 has this like the difficulty select screen has an easy option and a normal, like the normal difficulty, the Gimmick difficulty. And the only way you can select the Gimmick difficulty is to do a small section of Gimmick platforming, which if you can't do, because it's very precise and very specific, if you can't do it, there's no reason for you to choose that difficulty. So you have to default to easy mode or assist mode, as they call it, while you learn the game. Because if you can't do it, like you need to learn how to do it because you're never going to get anywhere in this game. So it's kind of like a really clever way of like, have you played this game before? If you have, you'll be able to get to the normal difficulty without any problem because you know the language of this game. If you haven't, you're going to try a little bit, not do it, and you're just going to have to accept the assist mode while we teach you the game. It's really clever. I haven't seen anything like it before. But I'm sure you got the trailer loaded up now, yeah?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. The game that I was, when the moment they announced it, it went straight to my Steam wish list. And it's the new Tokyo Xtreme Racer out now in early access on Steam. And it is exactly what I want. It's, if you ever played Tokyo Xtreme Racer before this, I don't know if you have. I'm assuming you have.
I've never had, surprisingly. Yeah.
Tokyo Xtreme Racer is just a really cool street racing, like simulate, like city pop style Tokyo street racing. And it's not like your traditional kind of like choose your track race guys. And it's not open world, but it is open world. It is in a weird way. You get to choose your loop, your highway loop. And there are going to be racers that are like in there, and you pull up behind, it'll tell you where they are and who they are. You can pull up behind them, you flash your lights, and it'll activate the race, and you race them. And that's awesome. It's kind of like a fighting game in a way.
Oh,
if you look at the top of the screen, you'll see basically health bars. You have to pull away. Once you pull away far enough, their health bar starts going down. And it keeps going down unless they can catch up to you. And like if you're basically drafting one another and stuff, you're at a stalemate and they don't go either direction. You'll see nothing's happening right here because he's super close. He's within 8 meters of him. And so yeah, you're racing through the streets of Tokyo or the highways of Tokyo, doing these races. And let's see, he gets ahead of him here.
Okay.
If he's going to start pulling away, and let's see if he starts pulling away. And you can see now it's starting to go down. And
so if they catch up, then it stops.
It doesn't revive.
Nice.
Because yours can go down too. If you drop down too far, yours
great
starts
idea.
going down.
Cool.
Yeah,
cool,
such
cool,
a good, and it's just and once the race is over, you stay on the track. You can go up behind any car and challenge them to a race. It may not be like a mission critical race, but you can challenge like anyone on the streets to a race. It's like you just flash your beams when you're behind them, and you start.
That's how it happens in real life. That's how I do it. Yeah, usually school buses, garbage trucks, ambulances.
And it's just like you're making money. There's a story mode in it that's kind of silly. It's not necessarily. It's early access, so it's really quick to sort of get through it. But it's just
I call this a Carlick like. Actually, that would be kind of badass. Hold on a second.
Trying to figure out how to make a car game into a garlic-like, a racing game.
I just thought of it. Okay, sounds good. I got a brilliant idea.
Right,
Nobody steal the idea. I'm
S
gonna work on
yeah,
this.
SQ Publishing coming soon.
SQ Publishing, Garlic Light.
But like this is a double
Oh, it's
A.
so fun.
Yeah, this
So
is a
cool.
double. We're these types of games are what are like the backbone of video games. Like these sort of like it's a double A. It's not. It's not leaning too heavily into like the sim stuff, and it's not super arcadey either.
EA didn't publish it. Yeah.
And it's in early access for a couple of months while they sort of get some feedback, and then it'll go 1.0. They expect it, they said, within a few months of this, and it's got a good sense of speed. It's strictly a single player game. Like this is
awesome.
this is a single player game.
This is me. This is
built.
totally me.
Yeah. This is absolutely extremely my jam.
Nice.
It's easy to pick up. You can race as much as you want. It's not they're not long races. It's a clever system. It's 100%. And these are the people. Genki is who made Tokyo Extreme Racing.
Sure.
So it's like they're back, baby. And here
the original ones. Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, I love these games where this makes you pine for the days of like PGR and stuff too. Like I would love Project Gotham to be back and stuff, and like it's nice to just have this again. This is my favorite type of racing game. Just sort of like I just want to race. That's all I want to do. I don't really want to focus too much on a lot of the other stuff. And you got your upgrades and stuff. You earn money through racing. You can upgrade your car. You can see it's got a livery editor and stuff.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's extremely my shit. I think you'll love it. I think if you got this, you'd love it. I truly do.
I feel like it. Yeah, kart fighting game. I love it.
Yeah, basically.
Badass, dude. Yeah. Badass. Nice. Sweet. Well, I think that's it for this week. Saw a bunch of folks hopped in. Exagimus, Zero, Playland, a bunch of other folks. I know there were some. I think there was folks from the other folks in the Discord were hopping in, which I always appreciate, like Ryan TTB. So always good to see folks in there. That's really the best place to find us is in that Discord where we chat and we tell jokes and we steal memes and post them as our own. Right? Exactly.
And we bully Stefan.
And he's the only one who can take it as well as he does because he doesn't always know how to take it, which is just fantastic. Love him for that aspect. So, go to SideQuesting.com, hop into the Discord, join us in there, just have fun. We've added a bunch of things that are great. Hey, you know what I forgot to mention at the very beginning was our producers and executives. So I'm gonna say them now, and then in the video, I'm gonna drop the cool poster dolly. Thank you, Justin Russo, who did that poster. Yeah, man, still got it. How old is that poster? God, that was like the very first Kickstarter thing I ever supported. That was 15 years ago.
That is like early joystick shit, man.
Yeah, 13, 14 years ago. But yeah, please join if you get a chance, join our 14 years. Good Lord. Yeah, still got it. I got that one. I should have bought the other ones too. I love them. Great design. Definitely support us through Patreon because you're awesome. I'm going to list at the very, very beginning of this episode, I'll put the Patreon stuff up. But I want to thank our executives, Tom Johnson and Punctified. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for supporting us at the executive level. You guys rock. The producers, thank you to Stefan, to Zero, to Exagimus, Exagenius, and Jeff Grubb. You guys are fantastic. You guys are helping us keep the lights on to this. Tell Tom I want my Secret Santa. Tom, you need a Secret Santa. Get it over there.
Listen, even we can't pin Tom down for anything.
Yeah, we haven't been able to pin him.
He is.
He's an enigma. Yeah. He's an enigma. We've been like messaging him. Hey, like Tom is great because he'll disappear for like months at a time, and then he'll pop up and be like, "Hey, I got 3 articles if you want to edit them." Like, wait, where'd that come from? But yeah, we'll continue hopefully to have that Secret Santa. Is a lot of fun. Anyways, thank you again to all of the folks who are lovely people who are helping us with the Patreon. You too can be a Patreon. Go to patreon.com/, I think, SideQuesting TV. And then SideQuesting.com. Again, SideQuesting TV on everything. We are that on Twitch and YouTube, and SideQuesting.com on Blue Sky. And you can find me on Blue Sky at DollyDomofsky.com. You can find JJ at _j.bisky.social. And yeah, with that, we'll see you on the next episode of the SideQuest. Thank you, everybody. Love you. Thank you. Bye. Toodles.